Hey everybody, what's up all you guys? I'm Aaron. I'm here with my co-host Zach.
Hello.
You're listening to A to Z Podcast, episode 78.
Today's guest is Pug Johnson, Southeast Texas singer-songwriter.
It's like they're trying to be too meta.
We're gonna make them an offer they can't refuse.
Yeah. You can
buy you a drink. You can't just
well, I mean, he did pick out somebody we know.
Well, you sidestepped the question. That technology does not exist. If this is your first time listening, thanks for checking us out. A to Z is a Southeast Texas local podcast with new episodes out semi-weekly on all major podcast platforms. But you can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram where we post updates, clips, and extra content.
Also, don't forget about our Facebook groups, A to Z Podcast Group and A to Z Movie Night, the Groupening, where you can talk with other listeners about episodes and share funny memes.
Yeah, because we're the meme boys.
Yeah, so we got Pug Johnson in on this episode.
Yeah, we got Pug. We got him in here, and he was one of these guests that kind of repeats itself in our show, where we ask people, hey, would you like to come on and talk? And, you know, they're very aware, and they're like, you know what, I don't think there's much for me to talk about, and we have to convince him. Well, yeah. Pug was that kind of that way. I was like, Pug, come on here. We'll talk about country. We'll talk about Nashville. We'll talk about all your time and your experiences. But it's not that big of a deal. Just come on. It's going to be a good hang.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we did. We went through. I told him he's my favorite country artist in the region, which is true. And we really settled in. We had a great time. We had good conversations. He shared some stories with us, and we did a little bit of crap talking on some things, but
maybe a little bit.
But altogether we had a great time.
Yeah, and just before we get into it, I hit him up because we usually put these episodes out so far after we record them, so I wanted to check back and see if they had anything going on. And I messaged him, and he said the Hounds are going back into the studio this weekend to record Back to Austin, the record they're working on, and he has a dentist appointment next Wednesday.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so enjoy this episode with
and wish Pug Johnson well at his dentist episode too. You know, tell him that I'm not even gonna go there anyway.
All right.
Granny, I see you in my dreams. Granny, I see you in my dreams, telling me what it is that heaven brings. When you walk away, I see you got them angels' wings. Little black book sitting on my bed. Little black book sitting on my bed, telling me
The possums. It was possums.
where I'm going when I'm dead.
They had a banjo possum. Yeah.
It was like this creepy scene.
Check 1 2 1 2
What I
1
liked
2.
about that scene is it really hit on that. Like it made fun of tourists so hard because they were doing like a road trip, father and road trip, and his dad's just like one of those people that does cruises and all that weird stuff.
I'll tell you something about that movie that most people probably would not want to know, is that I think it affected my life more than it should have, because the main character, like Max's girl that he was looking after, like it was a cartoon. But I think that actually is what like my body preference is now.
The
for
butt?
women. I don't know. Just
She was
the way
hot.
just the way she was shaped. Yeah.
She was.
Yeah.
That was a.
I watched that
cartoon.
That
movie.
was a hot dog.
I watched that movie at the time in my life when I was like 10 or 11.
Yeah,
where boys
Where
like
you're formulating
what you think is what you want.
Yeah.
And I watched too many cartoons. It screwed me up.
And we've all seen Dexter's Mom.
Oh yeah,
You know, all those memes are going around now. Like,
Dex's mom was thicker than a
Those were-
Snickers.
Those were baby birth and hips.
yeah.
Oh man, that's a mess. They actually think that's why there's so much of this Tumblr art and stuff nowadays. You know what I mean? Because like we grew up during that formative time where we're talking about, and we watched too many cartoons, and the cartoons were too sexualized. So when those people grew up, they're drawing like these weird
Like Kim Possible and
no, that's a human, but I'm talking about like the dog people and stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about? That Tumblr stuff. Don't act like you're better than me.
No,
don't
I'm
act
not.
like you don't know what I'm
I don't
talking
know if that's
about.
appropriate for our audience. This is a movie night conversation.
Well, they don't have to know, man. No, it's psychology, dude. It's real. It's happening in our world. You know?
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. But you know what's a better thing to talk about?
Are we,
Pug Johnson.
are we,
Mr. Pug.
are we
Johnson.
actually on air?
No,
we don't go live. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I saw that light, so I wasn't sure. Are we recording now?
Well, the understanding that I like to say is that light is always on.
Okay.
So whenever you walk in here, expect to be recorded. But no, we don't. We don't record everything.
Oh no,
Yeah. We just started recording.
Yeah.
Okay.
We started recording with the.
I said all that awful shit just
earlier,
a few minutes ago.
Yeah, no, it's great. Nobody's gonna hear that.
But yeah, we're here with Pug Johnson. He's a man about town. He's been a local country singer for a long time. He now has Pug Johnson and the Hounds, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. He's I don't. You know what I'm going to say, and I don't care if I hurt anybody's feelings. He's my favorite person that plays at Thirsties.
Yeah, he's one of mine. Yeah,
I'll probably hurt people's feelings, but I always know whenever I'm working at Thirsties, I always know whenever you play, it's going to be a good night. Your music like calms people down, but it also like gets them into a groove. Mm-hmm. I've never had to stop a fight while you work, and
really, you do fighting songs though sometimes, right?
I could have. No, I've been there. I've been there playing a couple times when there's been an altercation. But
I stand corrected.
Maybe it got maybe you just didn't have to break it up because it just
resolved itself.
It was one of those that didn't actually get like violent until it got outside anyway. So it was.
So I just like close the door.
Right, you're just like, all right, yeah. Wait for the cops to show up.
Yeah, but I can't say enough good things about you, man. That's why.
Well, thank you.
A few months ago, I made a meme that actually blew up pretty good. It's one of those prove me wrong memes, and I put my head on there and I said,
yes,
Pug Johnson is the best country music artist in Southeast Texas. Prove me wrong.
Did you make one of that? I didn't see that.
You didn't see that? Man, it got like 200 likes. And
oh my god,
got like 40 shares.
Did it?
Yeah, it got a lot. Yeah,
nice.
But I appreciate you. That's all I'm saying.
Well, thank y'all. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
It seems like y'all been doing pretty well with this. This is a cool thing that
still doing it, man.
That we got going here in Beaumont.
Yeah,
I think so. So I mean, like, you have a long history here in Beaumont. Back in the day, it was like Slow Roll and Lows, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was a while back. And then you had like a stint in Nashville.
Yeah.
And then you came back and you're doing your thing again. And it's like you've been playing solo for, I don't know, several years. And then I've always been telling you to get a damn band. And now you finally got one. So, like, what was before we get into any history stuff, what was the impetus in getting the band? Like, you just got tired of playing by yourself?
Actually, I was still completely fine with playing by myself.
Yeah.
I kept putting off getting a band because I didn't want the headache. I just didn't want to have to deal with it. I didn't want to have to call other people to go and play a show. Yeah. So this time around, now that I am doing it, Southpaw was the one who actually, he approached me after a gig one night and was like, "Man, I really, really want to put a band together for you." Yeah. And I've had other musicians around town here and in Tennessee that were trying to do the same thing. They want, "Hey, man, let me find the guys, I'll put a band together." And it just, it would always fall through, and I didn't want it enough to actually put in any effort on my own, so it just never happened. Well, Southpaw was actually true to his word, and like a couple weeks after
he
that,
found the guys.
He was giving me a holler like, "Hey man, I found us a bass player and a drummer. When do you want to rehearse?" So I was like, "All right, well shit, let's just see how it'll turn out."
Yeah.
And I've been really happy with it. I've on drums it's Chris Webb, and at first we had Ryan Cobb on the bass, and now we have Mr. Zach Ed, and I'm extremely happy with it, with the lineup. These guys are top notch players, and that's part of why I wanted to hold out on putting a band together. Yeah. Was that I wanted to get good quality players that I could trust with
what you're trying to do.
Yeah,
with your vision.
Yeah, man, I'm out of practice when it comes to communicating with other musicians because
You've been by yourself for so long.
Yeah.
Or you might play with like a lead guy every now and then or something. But.
Right, but they're always, with that kind of dynamic with the duo, it's, it's just kind of like
they follow you. Yeah, that's it. You don't really have to tell them anything.
With when you start putting a rhythm section together, it needs to be tighter. We're going to do this.
There's a feel.
Yeah,
and that was what Aaron was talking about before we hit record. Is that you have always had a very especially solo, like a very percussive style.
It's a very percussive style on your guitar, and it's before we hit record, I was talking about like playing at Thirsty's. Most people, I hate to tell everybody, but most of you guys don't have rhythm for shit. You know what I mean? Like you'll be clapping and stomping on the ones and threes and
no, you mean the audience?
The audience,
okay,
yeah.
Good.
No, I'm not talking about the players. I'm talking about the audience. Damn. I was listening to I was talking to our listeners, and I was like telling them most of them don't have rhythm. You'll have like somebody clapping like. Like, and
the
then
clap.
But the difference is though, is anytime Pugs plays, for some reason, everyone's on cue. Like you look at everybody's feet, everybody's actually like foot stomping. Yeah. If people clap or whatever, everybody's on cue, and it's because he has such a standout percussive guitar playing style.
Yeah.
So
and you got to carry that through to the band because it's probably.
You're a drummer and guitar player at the same time.
But it's probably not. It's like it's a specific rhythm to what you're doing.
Right.
And if they can't find that,
right,
everything off.
And that's been, that's been one thing. Like I don't. Webb has been extremely patient with me. Thank God, because I don't speak drummer very well, and so I'm through him. I'm trying to learn, all the vernacular and stuff that
double time, half time.
Yeah.
This kind of shuffle, this kind of beat.
But he's done a great job at kind of picking up on my vibe and the feel, and listen to me kind of try to beatbox it to him, or no,
it works. It works.
And he'll be like, he'll be like, all right, I think I got what you're doing, and he'll do something. That's it. That's it.
That's just good. That's just good.
He's trying to talk drummer. You're trying to talk Biz Marquee.
Exactly. That's pretty much what is going down.
So what's the plan with it? I mean, you're put it together with intention because it was together, and then y'all had a video and I think a single out, right?
We've put out two singles, which I mean I'm not even like paying to.
No,
really
it's just getting it out.
Yeah,
there.
I'm just and people will hopefully find it and share it. And I mean.
How are you doing those? Are you doing those on like Bandcamp or something like that? Or
what the singles?
Yeah, how you putting them out there?
Oh, I go through CD Baby.
So it's on Spotify and everything like that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I'll just do the best release package for like a single online.
Just like an EP or something.
Distribution,
like
package or whatever.
It's kind of like what we do with Libsyn.
Right. It's
that CD Baby does.
I'll tell you, man. We had Don Rollins in the studio like a month ago. We put that out, and that was an interesting episode because he's like a Grammy Award winning songwriter.
Yeah, I listened to it.
Yeah, you did. But the cool thing about that was we wasn't sure what we were going to talk about, but we ended up talking about kind of like the logistics of the music industry, and it was super interesting to me.
Yeah, it was. And Don knows a lot more about it than
most people.
Me, he knows a lot more the intricacies of how a songwriter gets paid and whatnot. I never actually put forth too much effort into getting somebody else to cut my stuff. That was the plan, originally when I was a kid and I started writing tunes. Because I couldn't carry a tune, in a bucket, and so I was like, "Well, shit, I'll just write tunes and get other people to play them." But in order to get them to hear the song, it's like, "Oh, well, shit, you gotta
make them."
You gotta make like the demo and be like, here's what I'm going for." Yeah,
and then I wound up with the lows, and then I fell in love with the performing side of it, and I was like, "Well, I don't care if I can't sing. I'm gonna do it anyway."
Yeah.
Robert Earl Keen can't sing. And, his ass is legendary now.
Yeah.
Dude, a lot of people can't sing.
Yeah,
well,
right.
I mean,
So
it's like the whole Bob Dylan thing, all those people.
Exactly. I'll just join that club. And the minor league level.
Was there a process of finding your voice or something?
Yeah, for sure.
Because you have a very, it's a unique voice, and everybody that has a voice similar to yours says that same thing. I can't sing for shit, but that's part of what I like about your sound, because it lends. I don't know. It's authentic, maybe.
Yeah, I just had to figure out like what I can and can't do.
Yeah,
and then
how to work around it,
and then figure out. I was like, all right, well, this is what I can do. And so with that, all right, well, I kind of like this aspect of it, so I'll try to focus more on that.
Yeah.
I found that when I would try to sing like really, really old 60s Haggard stuff, there was a timbre in his voice that I could do naturally really, really well, and it didn't make me sound like Haggard.
No.
But it in trying to go with that sort of vein, it kind of let me find my thing, and then just started adding in little cracks and whines that sort of come out naturally that at first maybe happened by
accident.
Yeah,
and then you started making it,
and then
you
start kind of counting it in, and exactly.
Yeah. Well, it's like that's one of the things about, especially the old school country singers, is that they were very. They would whistle and like they were very not. I wouldn't say comical, but like they would do more things with their voice and with mannerisms in the song than White Lightning.
Exactly.
Shit like that. Like yeah, like they would do like Johnny Cash whenever he would sing live. He'd be singing about drinking and he'd burp in the mic and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
It's like that's like a classic country thing.
I burp in the mic all the time, and I usually try to hide it. Yeah, because I'm actually drinking. So.
Yeah.
So we're talking about '60s Merle Haggard, everything like that. What are some of your
influences?
Influences, that's because I know what you do is country, right? But
sorta.
Before we hit,
that's
country Americana, something like that. But I know you must have a lot of blues influences. You must have all kinds of stuff around the spectrum.
Like the way that I look at it is, for me, country is that thing that I will always be, and that I will never be able to shake. Like that's what I was, ingrained with.
Yeah.
Not that that's,
it's not a bad thing.
Not that it's the only stuff that I heard growing up.
Oh, right. Yeah, you're not boxed in.
But I just heard, I don't know. It kind of seems like I heard it more. And I was drawn to it at an earlier age. And then like the blues, that came after getting into old school rock and roll when I got into high school, and started smoking weed and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, all right, I want to listen to Led Zeppelin, and Cream, and then that leads to, Muddy Waters, and
right,
Howlin' Wolf and Robert Johnson, and then that led me to Mississippi, John Hurt, who I tried to learn how to do his picking style, and failed miserably. And so that was sort of how I kind of started to find my percussive, a full rhythm.
Yeah. Okay.
John Hurt was one of those guys. He could keep the bass line and the melody going, all at the same time.
Yeah.
And
that's very much like what you do.
Well, but to a whole other level, the Chet Atkins style, but even before Chet Atkins was doing it,
just straight flat picking, man.
And just playing these real heartfelt blues tunes with this beautiful melody, like you listen to Mississippi John Hurt doing Spike Spike Driver Blues, and it's badass, and that was what like I was kind of trying to copy, and I'd get a little close to it, but I never could quite get it.
Well, good. It led to your own style.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So we try to. That's how we find ourselves, I guess, is through emulation, and then you pick this little part right here. You go, I'm going to keep that. You pick this little part right here. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to keep that. And then you end up with something that's like yours.
Well, right? Like Howlin' Wolf said he found his moaning howl because he couldn't do Jimmy Rogers yodels.
Oh, yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, it's like what even like Jimmy Page was one of those guys that was like he was listening to old, because folk country music was big in Great Britain.
Yeah,
it still is.
Oh, skiffle.
Absolutely.
Yeah, skiffle is kind of like an answer to that. Like
skiffle's like that old. Yeah,
it's almost like bluegrass.
That was more kind of poppy, wasn't it?
Well, it was considered pop.
It's considered pop, but to me it sounds like country.
It sounds like country.
It sounds like country to me.
Music. Yeah.
Skiffle. Yeah, I haven't thought about that in a long time.
You mind if I have another one of these?
Oh yeah, have at it.
Help yourself, sir. What's very fortunate for us, right, is that all three of us grew up in Texas in the 90s when like there was good country in the 90s. I'm really trying, you know what I mean? Like that's what you're saying until you were in high school and you started smoking weed and stuff like that. It's pretty much country, but it was, I feel really sorry for kids who are raised these days on country. Ever since like the Snap Track
with the long dirt road and a cold beer.
Cold beer. I'm pandering. What's that one song?
I can see my baby. What?
There's that song that came out that was like a huge hit. It was probably like #1 on Country Billboard for that year. It was like a little bit of Southside, some. Yeah. So now country is actually 90s R&B.
That was a fucking pop song. That's like something Kesha did.
I think it's R&B
10 years ago.
But that's just me. But it's like,
I mean, yeah.
Actually that's an insult to R&B. I'm sorry.
No,
it's
that Snap Track, that song, it sounds like a Kesha or Katy Perry song from like 2008.
Now that's all country is. Like turn it to CMT to the top 20 or something. That's it. That's all there is.
Man, I had hope whenever Chris Stapleton put that record out and it was playing everywhere. And then Co Wetzel's got songs playing everywhere, and he's a little more like he's more alternative rock than country. So there's some people kind of splitting it.
Yeah.
But it's just, they make so much money off of that shit country, dude. They make so much goddamn money.
Yeah, that's all the top 40 is right there.
I mean, arenas, man. Like,
I mean, Lil Nas X tried to change it, man. He tried to show them the way.
Yeah, like your country music fans. I've heard this, but that market has always been one of the most lucrative as far as like your musicians, because the fans fans are just so loyal. Well,
they were that was the last fan base that still bought CDs. You know what I mean? Like it's because I mean, I'm not trying to like stereotype people, but people that buy country albums are usually rural, right?
Right.
So that's about 50% of America, 50% live in cities, 50% are rural. So in your cities, everything's divided. You know, people will listen to rock, some people will listen to rap, some people will listen to R&B, all that stuff. So that 50% is divided. When you think about rural America, almost everybody listens to country. Mm-hmm. So it's also the biggest market, and they buy CDs. Like Garth Brooks was exclusively sold. It was exclusively sold in Walmart.
They did buy CDs.
They did, yeah. But no, they still do. Guaranteed. Bet they do.
Really?
Yeah,
dude,
I mean,
they're not even putting them in
They got trucks.
Yeah, they got 95 F-150s, man. Why would you not have a couple CDs? I don't know. I'm sure somebody in Ohio is still buying CDs.
You know, it's a weird thing to whenever I'm out Wade, we'll every now and then we'll get one of those Nashville bands put with us, and one of the younger up like whatever D level bands that are trying to make it in Nashville, they get signed with somebody, and then they go underneath us, and every single one of them they'll play like they have one hit on the radio, okay, and they'll play that at the very end, but then they'll play like maybe 2 or 3 originals, and everything else is just covers.
Oh yeah,
they just do. Yeah. They do a cover.
That's
show,
what
basically.
I mean, that's essentially Toby Keith talked about it years ago. He said, when he was trying to first break out, about the time he did should have been a cowboy. And so he said, they'd go play these places, and it was either just before they put it out or like right after they put it out and before it took off. But if they'd go play these places and nobody knows who you are.
Yeah.
And they don't give a shit
about your
original material, because it's not like you're playing listening rooms in Nashville or Austin every night. No, you're going out to places like Beaumont, or smaller towns even, and playing little hole in the wall bars to people that just want to come out, drink, dance, fight, and fuck, and have a good time.
Play Merle.
They don't care about you chasing your goddamn dream.
Yeah.
So you have to win them over and make them care about you chasing that dream. You have to get them on your side, so you have to play shit they know, which is why I'm still at the stage I'm at, because I don't do that.
Yeah. No, but I feel like everybody loves your original music. You know what I mean? If you ask people, like Zach said before we started recording, his favorite's Buffalo Coin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Buffalo Coin.
He loves Buffalo Coin.
I always described you
it's not the one I'm the most proud of,
but I don't care.
But
it's not about
thank
you. It's not about you, Pug. It's about us. It's about the audience.
I like I don't know what the title of the song is, because I've never heard you say it, but my favorite is the one where it's but I'm still stuck up here crying in Tennessee.
Oh, Back to Austin.
Back to Austin.
I wrote that with Steve Schneider and Victoria Woodworth up in Tennessee.
Yeah, that's my favorite, because I like the way it makes it feel like a sad boy.
Right.
Yeah, it's that.
I do like to whine. I do like to whine about my feelings and my songs.
Yeah.
That's like country, man. I'm like, it's got me right here. Every time I hear it, it gets me. I'm like, shit.
Your songs have always had like a. I always thought they were the perfect like bar songs. Not saying that they're only good in a bar.
No.
But they're like
totally fine.
The content and how they're sung and how they all go, like they're just like they're perfect for that setting.
Right.
And that's different. You don't see that a lot. Well, some people have a voice.
To me, that's what
a cafe.
That's the type of country music that like I grew up with.
Juke joint music.
Haggard and Jones and Willie Nelson and Waylon. They were playing barroom tunes. Well, Waylon didn't do as much barroom music. I don't know. He was kind of something else. But Willie, Ray Price, they all had just those hardcore country drinking songs that are the standards now.
Yeah. Sit here and drink.
That everybody wants to sing songs about, but they don't want to sing a song like it.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
I think Hayes Carl's probably the only guy out there that it's up there that does something like that.
True.
Like kind of mainstream. He's not mainstream, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
I'll tell you what
sing about real shit.
What I've always considered, this is the way I think about it too. Like, this is what I consider to be country. Isn't really necessarily the structure of the music. It's not the chords you play and the tempo or anything like that. What I consider to be like country western is if the song like kind of tells a story. If the song has a narrative, to me, that's what makes country, is when the song has a narrative.
That's technically like a definition of folk music, I guess.
It's kind of like folk music too. They're kind of, but to me, that's why I'm saying it's just the way I've thought about it.
Yeah.
I know that's not the way that a music professor would think about it.
Well,
but
country came out of
folk music,
folk and blues,
right?
And both were telling stories.
So, and that's one thing that's why I consider. You could be considered Americana. You have like blues stuff, all that, but I consider you country because your songs have a narrative. Like Buffalo Coin has a narrative. Push Buggies in the rain. It's got a narrative, and that's what like new country doesn't have. That's why I always say, like I've told Zach this before. I think new country and rap are the same thing. It's not about narrative. It's like they're just espousing a lifestyle.
Exactly.
So while like Snoop Dogg's like not even Snoop Dogg because that's too old school. That has narratives. But now it's just like talking about iced out grills, got my like cooking on the stove, talking about everything's lifestyle.
Even.
Oh, but with country, it's just like jacked up truck, dirt road. You know what I mean? It's that's all they're doing is like going, hey, look at me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Houston rap was all about, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it was talking about the lifestyle of being
in Houston.
Being in Houston, you know, we're poor and lane, you know, we're...
that's what new country is trying to do. They're trying to do that.
Exactly. And, I've always kind of thought that, you know, country could pull things from the hip-hop world, just not what they are currently.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't do it
you're
better.
pulling the wrong things. You're pulling the wrong shit. Like, look at other... So look at other aspects for like your inspiration.
Old Town Road is like that. You know, that's a perfect example.
I love that song.
I mean, it's calling that out, but it's also a better country song than any of the shit that they're putting out.
I think they ought to pull out the the
drum
like
machines,
like the old school hip hop attitude, like that. That would be which the willingness to say well, fuck you.
Yeah.
This is how it was for me.
Yeah.
And being willing to stand by it, and that not really giving a shit if it was going to sell or not.
Yeah, that's that outlaw shit.
It was real.
Yeah.
And that's what I think the country market could take from the hip hop world.
The only way they're going to adapt is if they stop selling records. I think.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, or unless like more people come along that break through that, like Chris Stapleton, Sturgill Simpson, Jason Isbell. Like, as long as more people come through, maybe the people who are listening to the shit will eventually like realize, oh wait, this is so much better. This isn't anything. But I don't know. Every time I see a picture of like, and it looks like a guy, he's wearing like Gucci stuff and like a tracksuit, and he's got like jewelry on. And then the caption's like, this guy with the country band, this. And I'm like, what? Like, this is a country singer. It's like, I mean, I don't know. It's just, it's an image thing. It doesn't make any sense. Like, you're, like, everything that people say why they like country as far as, like, relating it to their lifestyle isn't represented in the people who do it. So, like, why would you support that?
Pug's different, because he won't be in no Gucci stuff. He's going to come in a cardigan. He's going to look nice.
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, the last thing I look like is a country singer. But
I don't know. You got some Johnny Cash elements to you. Well, let's take we're about halfway through this one. Let's take a little break.
Yeah, the dog's getting restless.
Yeah, the dog's freaking out. So we'll be right back.
Hi, this is Jake Hooker of Jake A. Hooker, and you're listening to A to Z Podcast. A to Z Podcast is funded in part by our patrons on Patreon. If you would like to support us, head over to patreon.com/A2ZBMT.
Now Big John Lee's had it out for me ever since I hit town. He don't like the way I sing my songs or lay my rhythm down. But the girl on his arm called a whip.
Okay, guys, well, you know what time it is. It's the middle of the episode. That is the portion where we like to chill out for a few things and highlight some important things in your area. And on Thursday, August 1st, at the Jefferson Theater, they're going to have the 4th Annual Mental Health Symposium. The Spindletop Center and Beaumont Film Festival will proudly present the 4th Annual Mental Health Symposium. And this year, they will be highlighting the children's mental health issues that are so prevalent in this day. And 12 News anchor Dejanique Garrison will MC. That's going to be at 5:30 to 9 p.m.
And then August 5th through 10th, also at the Jefferson Theater, we're having the Beaumont Film Fest. And it's kind of a cool thing. It's going to be, I think, the daily screenings, I think, are going to be of short films and documentaries starting at 2. But then they do a film at the end of the night every night. It's $5 per day and $20 for the week. One of the films that I saw on August 6th is going to be Seven Samurai.
Yeah, and we know we're going.
Yeah, I won't be able to be there, but I hope y'all go. They also have, I think it's the Motorcycle Diaries and a couple other classics like that. So it's going to be a pretty cool thing. Celebrate film. Get to see some short films, and I think they have some panels and awards stuff they're giving out. So that'll be a good time. The 5th through the 10th, Jefferson Theater. And you can go to discoverbeaumont.com for more info.
Quite so bad as he once was.
fucking dude. These Game of Thrones memes are the best, man. It's my favorite thing.
Neil Young.
To know. Yeah, I got off on a Neil Young kick.
Neil Young, best remembered.
Same way I did with Dylan whenever I was even younger. Like whenever I got into my early 20s. Like I'd always listen to Neil Young, you know, CSNY, all that stuff, but like, because my parents always did. But then I like really got into Neil Young. Started with his first record and worked all the way up to like, you know, Rockin' in the Free World. Got his book, Shaky, which is really like he's an interesting dude.
He's very interesting.
He has 2 kids that have cerebral palsy. It's like a genetic thing.
Yeah.
And you know how he always he's always building things and stuff like that.
No, I don't.
Well, he tried to release that Tidal or some kind of high quality music streaming service.
I remember when he did that.
He turned like a 50s Lincoln into an electric car with a battery bank and everything. So he's always been like a nerd. Back whenever he was playing with Crazy Horse, he had this guitar tech called Plank. I forgot his full name, but his nickname was Plank. And he built him a wireless unit so that he can control the volume on his amp. But the thing is, he didn't want to turn up his guitar to change volume. He wanted to turn up the input on his Deluxe, on his Fender. And he designed a radio system that was like, with like a radio system. And it
like
attached, shortwave. It attached
shortwave
to his guitar and controlled like a little thing that came out and turned the knob on his amp. And this was in the 70s.
Damn.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing about him is he has the kid with cerebral palsy, and he was always trying to figure out a way. He liked trains, and his oldest son liked trains, but they had no way to control it if you didn't have hands. So he started thinking up things, and he designed these systems that were with like sensor pads, with other kinds of things to where he could control it with his neck movements, with his eye movements, whatever it was. And up to now, to where
they're doing video games and stuff for kids like that.
But now he's majority stakeholder of the Lionel Train Company.
Oh, that's awesome.
Of the model train company.
Because
he developed so much and he created a relationship with them. Then he was like, shit, I'll buy y'all out.
Yeah.
You know, like, or
I'll be damned.
Take a stake. Strange guy.
What's your favorite Neil Young song?
Ooh,
I can tell you what mine is. Like quick.
I like Harvest Moon.
Fucking good song. I love that song.
I like his sad songs.
I do too. He's like, that's the thing about Neil Young.
I also like Tonight's the Night. That record is amazing. That's like that record's got a lot of history. Like it was live and they didn't practice any songs.
My favorite song by him is Hurricane.
Hurricane's a good song too.
It's because I've never heard another song like that song ever. It's a really, really weird song.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
On his earlier records, there's this one called like Old Man in the Tree or something like that. And it's like a 7-minute like poem basically. And it's singing about this guy doing these things. Also, fucking Powderfinger. Powderfinger is amazing. His imagery is really good. Like he, you know, it was like we were talking about in the beginning, Pug, like where like he had to find his voice, and he's like, out of anybody, he's like the one that gets ragged on the most for having a shit voice. I think probably even more than Bob Dylan.
He is. You are like a hurricane. There's stars in your eyes.
But he was such an excellent songwriter, though, and the music was so, like, he did music with intention. You know, it wasn't just a band behind him. He did it.
It's about like every song is like a little world with him, and it's like it's like a mood. You know what I mean? I hate saying stuff like big moods.
I think it's
overdone, but
his songs have a place.
Yeah,
like they exist as a thing. Is how I would describe it.
I still remember. Well, I don't remember. I wasn't alive, obviously,
or whatever.
But I still find that hilarious that Leonard Skinner got super butthurt at him, and they kind of had like one of the first music feuds.
No, they didn't. They were friends. It was a joke.
Was it?
Yeah. When
you listen to the music, it seems like they're butthurt at each other.
No, I don't think. I think that was an interview where they asked about it. It's like, no, we've hung out. I mean, he's like a hero of ours.
Okay. Well, that changes that for me. I've always thought that was like a.
It was perceived to be, but I mean,
I always thought it was a feud. Yeah,
I don't see why they wouldn't do it with intention. Of course, Neil Young's always been a pretty outspoken dude. You know.
Well, yeah, at least Canadian, and they're super Southern American. Yeah, well, they used to be. I've never seen. I've seen 38 Special live though. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I think we're actually doing a show with them soon.
Really?
Yeah.
I love it.
Didn't they just come play around here?
Maybe.
No,
No,
they're playing. They're playing Riverfest.
That's right.
That's right.
They're playing it the night after us.
No shit.
I think so.
So technically, y'all are opening
because we're on Thursday night. I think it's Thomas Teague, and then us.
That's
and then
coming
the
up,
big
right?
Show. Yeah.
So that's and the Hounds, right? That's
Yeah.
your full band's gonna be playing. Dope. Yeah, how many nights is the Riverfest?
I think it's like 3. They do no, it's more than that. They have like the opening on like Wednesday. And
I've never been.
I think Wednesday or Thursday is a family night with like Christian bands.
Okay.
And then I think it's Wednesday, and then they have a fair day Thursday, and then it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
And then they have the Thunder on the River.
It's something weird. No,
Thursday is when.
Okay, so I think
maybe
it's 4. It's up to Saturday then.
The weekends when they have like the jet boats and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Saturday and Sunday.
Man, we got a lot of festivals around here.
Yeah.
Every little town's kind of got their own festival. You can.
Well, that's Texas, man.
Yeah. Winnie has the Rice Festival.
Even Crockett has a festival. I hate to say it.
Woodville has Rosewood Festival.
Yeah.
Rosebud.
Yeah.
2 Ds for a double dose of this pimp.
Did you played a lot of festivals, I'm sure.
8th grade.
Yeah.
You probably played every damn festival fundraiser around town, eh?
I don't think all of them, but a lot of them at some point. Yeah. Whether it was with the Lowe's or whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't. But like, I can't. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I can't say for sure because the gigs back with the Lowe's, they all just kind of run together on you. You know,
Yeah.
there's certain points, that'll kind of stand out in your memory, but we partied pretty hard back then. So
yeah, I don't know the history of the Lowe's too much because we didn't really know you. I didn't really know you that well as I do now. Whenever back in those times, because I wasn't really in the scene.
Yeah,
and you were already at it whenever we kind of came on the scene. And then by the time we became familiar, y'all were off to Tennessee.
Yeah, and I mean that was really pretty much the end of it. You know, whenever we left, it was I was the last original member. We were down to a 3-piece. We couldn't really find a drummer, and when we got to Nashville,
what did it start off as?
It started off originally, a 4-piece.
Okay,
and then we wound up being a 3-piece for a while, and then back to a 4-piece, and then back to a 3-piece, and then that was about the time we were done.
Yeah,
we got to Nashville, and everybody was so busy trying to make a living so we could stay up there and still catch little gigs and stuff. And so that was when we all just kind of got so busy and everybody went their separate ways.
Yeah.
It wasn't like some bad blood split or anything like that. Mike Riley, the bass player, he started catching more gigs.
That's right.
Playing bass. I was just doing writers' nights and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard about writers' nights in Nashville. How you just all of a sudden, like Chris Stapleton could be in there. It's crazy.
Right.
Well, Nashville's not a very big town, is it?
It's not.
No. It's it's a major city, yet it really does have a small town feel to it. You run into a lot of the same people if you're out in that.
Yeah. If you go to those places, you're going to run into about the same people. Everybody has their haunt, I'm sure.
Yeah. Kind of like Portland or any of those size towns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. What was that like being in? So after you moved from here to moving there, what was that like? Because now you're not. I don't know how to describe it. It's like a big fish in little pond, and then all of a sudden you're like the tiny fish.
Yeah.
Nashville's like the music capital of the country.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. When I got up there, it was like night and day. I realized,
because y'all were actually doing pretty good here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were doing all right. Originally, the plan was to move to Austin and to keep working in the Texas scene.
Yeah.
But the other 2 members that were willing to move with me, they decided they wanted to go to Nashville. So I was like, well,
it's a bigger music town.
All right. Yeah. Shit. Let's go. I'll try it. I'll try to sell some songs, and then like I got up there and I tried to do that a little bit, and I was pretty quickly I realized I was like, this isn't going to be for me. This isn't a thing that I'm going to like want to do.
Yeah. Because it's.
Right.
Listen to Don talk about it. It's like
Yeah. They get up there and they they put you in a room with some other guy, and that you may or may not really know, or you meet guys at writers' nights, and y'all kind of hit it off, but you still don't really know each other, and so like you get together to try to write songs, and I'm shy as hell.
Yeah,
and so that was always kind of hard for me to really like open up, and just go balls out and start trying to share ideas and stuff, and and if I didn't like one of their ideas, I wasn't really strong enough to be like, no, man, that's
Yeah, you didn't have the confidence in your songwriting.
I just didn't have that skill set.
Yeah.
And so I just there were a few people up there that we became friends, and then after a while of us hanging out, then we got comfortable enough to where we were able to write some tunes together, and Back to Austin, which I still play. What else? Throw It Off and Glad. There's a few others, but yeah.
Did you sell any of them? Did you sell any tunes?
No, hell no.
I like that definitive. Hell no, man.
No, I wasn't.
I kept them bitches for myself.
About the most of like really trying to push them that I did was to go out and play writers' nights.
Yeah.
And I when I'd go meet with like the guys from BMI, he would always ask me, well, do you want to be an artist or do you want to be a songwriter? And that would always
That's a good question.
Throw me off really hard, because I was like, well, I want to do both. Like, I don't understand why I can't go be an artist and then like still just give y'all some tunes.
I want to be like Willie.
This has been done before, so why can't this be a thing?
Yeah.
And but they were pretty adamant. I'm like, well, no, you need to pick one. And so I would just kind of throw my hands up and walk away.
Well, it's kind of like if you were a songwriter, they would be throwing you into writing situations,
right?
And if you wanted to be an artist, then they would just fucking throw your ass on the road.
They would give you songs,
right?
Yeah.
It's
like they have a structure set up, and that's how the machine operates, right? And
so since it wasn't something I was like, I don't know, I guess I wasn't set on what I really wanted to do, and I think it was because I was just
how old were you?
I was in denial about the fact that like I really wanted to be an artist, because I didn't think I was good enough,
right,
to actually be an artist. And I was up there. I was
21
to I was 21 when I moved up there, and I moved home when I was 23.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know what you want to
2
do at
years.
that age.
You got an associate's degree of musical hard knocks.
Yeah.
Do you find, so now that you're in, well, I mean, you've been here for quite a while, but do you find that Beaumont in Southeast Texas is a good place to play country or your type of music, however you feel it is? You feel like you're well received here?
You're
from here, so.
Yeah, I mean, Beaumont doesn't have like a great music scene. Not that there aren't people here that dig what I do and will come out and watch me when they can. So for the Beaumont listeners out there, don't think I'm talking shit, but we're all working class folks, and most of us have kids and or families or other just other things, and like we can't afford for every night that I'm playing to be out in bars watching,
for sure,
and plus it gets tired. I haven't really been trying to stretch out my legs and go out of the Golden Triangle here for the past few years. Until
you probably will
very
now.
recently.
Yeah, probably will now.
Is that kind of the plan with this new thing?
Yeah, with the Hounds. I mean, I wanted to get the main goal with the band is to get the recordings.
Okay.
And we're gonna play gigs as we can. But hell, these guys have families as well. They they have day gigs, except for Southpaw. He's like me. He's a straight up music tramp. But so yeah, I mean, it's the Hounds isn't one set group of guys. I mean, I do have the guys that get the first call, and that's the guys that are with me right now. But if I start booking gigs,
you're gonna try to adapt it.
Yeah, it'll just be, hey, we'll have a couple other drummers on.
Somebody in Austin, somebody over here.
Yeah,
like in Retainer.
Yeah, that we can.
I think Jake Collier's in Austin. I don't think he's working for Jamie anymore.
Okay.
Shuts out.
Just give him a holler.
Oh, he's in town?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Cut that out.
Whatever.
Anyway, yeah. Man, it's kind of interesting. I see just in 10 years, the music scene here has changed dramatically. You know what I mean? You think 10 years ago, there was a lot of like homegrown bands and stuff like that were coming up that were making headway and stuff like that. If you listen, by the time this is out, the Christopher Garza episode is going to be out. If you listen to that, we kind of talk about that a bit. But a lot of it has to do with like venues and stuff too have changed. You know what I mean? And like people putting shows together with multiple, like big block music nights. That's changed. And I see some things coming up too, like Greenlight Americana is doing a bunch of stuff. Feimster plays there all the time.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of little tiny venues that are really stepping up, I think. I wouldn't even call them venues, just places to play. You know what I mean? Like, so it is changing. I see that there's like new opportunities popping up for like people like you when you play solo and stuff. So I'm kind of hopeful about that. You know, that's kind of a cool thing.
For sure.
I think, if live music is more places, it's going to benefit live music as a whole.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, that's the one thing is we don't have a really good, decent 300 cap venue or 400, 500 cap. I mean, we have the gig, but nobody likes going to the gig.
I don't know if that's three. Yeah, maybe it is. Yeah.
That's like a 500, maybe higher than that. But that's just really one of those things. It's like
nobody likes going to the gig though because man, it's just so the acoustics are just so awful.
I mean, the sound system sounds good. I've heard good shows.
Well, then
there.
I guess
it's just in the way.
I guess it's just turned up too loud or something.
It's that, and the lights haven't really been updated in a while. Like that's the thing is we don't have a place to where there is a show.
Yeah.
Other than the theater, other than like BCP, they put on a production. There's no music production venue. It seems. Yeah. There's places that get close, like Madison's is about as good as you can get as far as the show.
Mm-hmm.
There's others. The festivals always look pretty good. Like I get that, but like there's not a venue that's set that you can go and see a good show. It's going to sound good. It's going to look good. Where doors are at 6, you don't see anybody setting up sound checking. They already sound check.
For sure. Yeah.
The show.
Right. The show.
Like now it's just you're watching your friends set up their shit, and or watching that guy set up their shit, and that's not fun.
With that said, what is your around here when you're playing around here? What's some of your favorite places to play?
Thirsties. Well, I mean that's always been one because Thirsties I played a lot back in my partying days.
For sure. For sure.
Before I met my wife and settled down, and I found that with that crowd, I felt like the more I was myself and the more that I was just having fun and letting it all hang out, the more they loved it.
Yeah.
And I can't get that everywhere else. It's like it's
people
like
actually listen to Thirsties.
Well, Thirsties is a rowdier crowd. The people that go there, they don't mind something being a little raunchy.
They don't like hooping and hollering.
Yeah, it doesn't throw them off, to hear somebody
Nobody's
up there.
offended.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit.
I've seen I saw the first night I ever saw Gidros play there. He played something. I think he played like Black Street or something. 3 women like acted like he was the pole in the strip club and just danced all over him.
Oh yeah,
like that's what that place is.
I've had to, back in my partying days, I used to play that. I'd play at Thirsties, and because you're right there by the hallway where everybody's coming in and out, and people get hammered at Thirsties, and it's a small place, and so if the music's good, the ladies want to dance, so they'll just dance on you. Back in the day, I'd be like, whatever, and I'd just keep playing and wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah.
Now I have to shut that shit down. I have to be like, lady, like here.
I'm a married woman. Get out of here. So all right. So Thirsties, is there any others that you enjoy playing?
Let's see. Yeah, I did a gig here recently, about 2 weeks ago at the music studio, which is a little different for me. Not being in a bar, but with this place, people had to buy tickets, or like paying admission to come see me. So I didn't feel so bad. It was kind of one of those things. It's like, well, look,
this
y'all,
is the show.
y'all. Yes, it was like, look, y'all paid to see me do me. Here it is.
Yeah.
And up front, no, there are no refunds.
Up front.
So
you're gonna hear songs about strippers.
Yeah, pushing buggies in the rain and whatever the hell else.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one went over pretty well. It wasn't a huge crowd that I drew in, but I got to try something a little different with my band for the night. I had Southpaw with me playing mandolin, and then I had Ray Ramus play the sax with me.
Oh, what?
So I had a mandolin and a saxophone, and me playing acoustic, and
Man,
it was
I'm really upset
pretty
that I missed
badass. Yeah,
How was the response?
It was great. Yeah.
I'm upset I missed that.
And it was a bigger crowd than what I thought was actually going to be there anyway.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was pleasantly surprised. And then of course, Nature's Brewery.
Yeah.
The
Place is
the
special.
first place that the Hounds played out.
Oh, that was your first show, the one we watched on YouTube?
Yeah, exactly.
Which, by the way, if you listen to this, you can go to YouTube and watch the
type
whole
in
set.
Pug Johnson and the Hounds, and it was filmed courtesy of Mr. J.P. Richards with SETXlive.com, I believe.
Yeah.
And if I got that wrong, JP, I'm so sorry.
Oh, I think that's it. SouthTexasLive.com. We'll put it in the show notes. Yeah,
for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, what do you got coming up? I don't probably next few months. What are you excited about in your in this whole thing? Just continuing to do the Hounds?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, granted, I still play more gigs by myself right now, just because of.
Is that your main job? Just playing gigs?
Yeah, that's all I do.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
That really is.
I know it's not easy, but but it's.
I really hope.
all right.
I really hope we could get to a point one day where, this is our job. I think that would be incredible.
That would be pretty incredible.
So I'm a little jealous that you get to do that. And honestly, I'm sure a lot of people are. How many people are musicians and people you might think are better musicians than you that have to get a day job?
Well, I mean,
You're
I
very
would.
fortunate,
I would have to if I wasn't married.
Hey, shout out.
Yeah. My.
To all the sugar mamas out there.
I pretty much found a sugar mama, dude. Like, I hate to say it because it's, that's not like the arrangement we have.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm freeloading.
We're just being goofy,
actually,
though. Yeah.
She probably actually likes you, I think.
She treats you so well, too.
I make the joke. I say, baby, I'll be your house bitch. and I do. I cook and I clean and
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Play music all day.
Hey, you know what? But she also she helps you at gigs, man. Whenever
she
you're
does.
done.
Yeah, I saw her.
Whenever you're done,
she helps you load out.
Oh, dude, for
She
sure.
loads
That's
out.
amazing.
Yeah.
Dude, that woman is something else.
Y'all are a unit, man. Y'all are strong.
Yeah.
I like that.
We just got back last night actually from a trip. We went to Paladuro.
Oh, you went camping?
Yeah,
How'd it
go? For my birthday for my
Beautiful out there,
29th.
man.
And we had never been, but we had made up our mind that we were going to go to a park, and do some camping. And at first we were going to do Big Ben, and Big Ben was already booked out.
Yeah.
And so
yeah.
then
How does Big Ben get
it
booked
stays
out?
booked
It's
out.
huge.
It stays booked out.
It's like the biggest
well,
part.
they have set camping grounds,
Oh, okay,
and there's
gotcha.
a limit.
Okay.
Yeah. Plus conservation, you don't want.
Right.
Yeah.
and so we got on the Texas Parks app, and we just looked through them all and tried to find what we wanted.
Yeah,
and we found Paladuro, and so then we got on YouTube and was looking at things about Paladuro, and I found where these guys go in the back country, and they find these slot canyons.
Oh yeah, like the really thin ones that are just
and
is it that first?
We didn't even know. Yes, sir.
Okay, cool.
That's it. We didn't even know that these were in Texas. They're more common in Arizona,
New Mexico, and all those areas.
The biggest ones, the biggest formation like that's actually in China.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, there's like a canyon in China that's like bigger than Grand Canyon or something.
There's a lot of amazing parks in Texas. They're far away from here. I'm going to. I went to Colorado Bend a few weeks ago, but I'm going to Guadalupe Peak or Guadalupe Mountains National Park, and it's the tallest peak in Texas.
You're going like next month, right?
In like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
May 5th. I'm heading out, but it's like
that's awesome.
It's Texas, but it's just this mountain, and you climb to the top of it and look at Texas from and it's right near Carlsbad Cabins and everything. I mean, it's like if you can stand like an 8-hour drive, you can see some crazy shit.
Oh yeah,
you know.
Well, I mean, ours was about 10 hours and 15 minutes. And dude, I have never had a road trip that long that went by so fast and just so easy.
You're excited to get there
because you stopped.
We did a split. No, shit.
I'm just
we did a split like the first leg. We left at midnight Friday night.
Okay,
and so we left, and I mean, nobody is on the roads.
Oh, right.
And so I cruised all the way to Dallas, just butter.
Yeah.
And
I hate that drive.
We get through Dallas at like 6 o'clock in the morning. But it's a Saturday, so nobody's out.
Right.
And we got to the park about 11 o'clock in the morning, and so we had all day, to set up camp and then go exploring, and we hiked our asses off, man. Because I'd done a lot of research trying to find these canyons, but you don't really know, where you're going,
right.
and
the park rangers won't. Sometimes
the park rangers won't tell you how to get there because people go and carve in the rock formations and shit.
They kind of
graffiti it up and ruin it. So that they won't tell you. You just gotta have the balls to go out there and try to find it. And so like I had done like 2 weeks worth of research leading up to it, trying to map it out and plan the route, but there was only so much that I could do. Not
having been there, knowing what it looks like firsthand.
Would you just look like at satellite images?
Yeah,
and
you Google Earth.
Think about your cardinal
How
directions.
Many miles was
Google Earth and
watched
videos of other guys that had gone to the canyons and like watched them over and over again, and tried to find certain landmarks, and little by little I was able to be like, oh, okay, well that formation right there. All right, well that's next to Long Draw. Okay, so now I know where he's at.
Yeah,
and it took me a couple of weeks, but it paid off. And so
you just probably beelined it straight towards it, huh? You were just like, oh, I got it. Boom, got it. Boom, got it.
Pretty much. I mean, we had to climb up a lot of shit, and try to figure out the best way. Because there's little things like you just can't see. On a satellite image.
Yeah.
Like certain drop-offs and things, you're like, oh, damn.
Yeah, everything's flat on a satellite.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, that's 20 feet down.
Yeah, it's like, we're not going to go that way. But the reason I brought that up, that whole thing, was that my wife was all for it. Like, she was right there with me. She's she's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys really like to travel too, because when you got married, you went to Ireland, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, and that was a blast.
Yeah.
We had so much fun over there, dude. Just,
y'all look like y'all fit in Ireland. Like you both kind of have an Irish look to you, sort of.
Well, thank you.
You know,
that's like ancestry. I think whichever one my mom sent my DNA off to, or whatever.
Yeah,
it came. I mean, I'm mostly from like the British Isle,
the Isles,
and Ireland as well.
You and Zach both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Scotland more for
me.
Yeah, I got. There's a few other things in there as well. You know, some from the American South popped up, so I think there might be like some.
Oh yeah, some Native American.
Yeah, but it's tiny little bit. You know, and then I think like a little Greek.
Okay. Yeah.
But other than that,
well, shit.
Yeah.
Let's call that a show.
Okay, cool.
Great show.
Put a bow on it, man. Yeah. I loved it.
I had a great time.
Did you have a good time?
Yeah, absolutely. Did I give y'all what you wanted?
You gave us what we wanted and more.
Yeah,
and more.
Okay, well, good.
Sometimes when we do these episodes, I find myself having to work a little bit hard to think about what I'm going to ask. You know what I mean? I come in prepared with like, all right, cool, I'm going to ask these questions. I'm going to make sure I get this out. You know what I mean? And then when we have a conversation, kind of coax stuff out. But this, we're all just buddies and we're sitting around. Yeah. And man, it flows so naturally.
We haven't had a show like this in a while.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good.
It was nice.
Good.
It felt kind of like, you know, the sticker episode we did. You know, just a good hang, man.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I think I could have done better, but
everybody could always do.
You're an artist, man. That's what y'all think all the time.
But y'all are doing a hell of a job. Thank y'all for having me, and keep it up, dude. Y'all are kicking ass.
Appreciate it. All right, you guys. Well, that's been A to Z. Check us out next time. All right, thanks you guys. Thanks everyone for listening and checking us out. And we also want a big thanks to Pug, man. Thanks for coming on here and giving us an hour and a half of your time. Yeah. You know, it was a fun time. It was a good hang. And if you liked what he was talking about, if you like his music, check him out on Spotify. Just look him up, Pug Johnson. Or he also plays a lot of places around here live all the time. He plays by himself solo at Thirsty's quite a bit. He also plays at the Nature's Brewing Company with his band. And I still haven't even seen that, and I can't wait to do it. So go find him out.
Yeah. And we want to do a special shout out to our patrons on Patreon: Jordan Stringer, Lance Killian, Brian Casino, Doug Waldrop, Michael Sarr, Ben McClellan, Randy Edwards, and our newest patron, Allie Gillette. Thank you guys so much. You help us keep the studio going. You help us pay these bills. And if you're interested in becoming a patron, head on over to patreon.com/A2ZBMT.
And on our next episode, we're going to have Rachel Wilson. She is from Wild Earth, Texas Ranch. And we talk a lot about like modern ranching, meat, food science, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, that was a pretty interesting one. And if you have a guest that you think would be a good fit for our show, send them our way. Or just send us a message, you know, if you think you'd be a good fit.
Slide in them DMs,
what are we
looking
you heard? For? We like doctors, man. I like specialists.
For sure.
And people that do cool things. I don't know, anybody. Just hit us up. Let us know. And you've been listening to A to Z. Thanks. What? Thanks? No.
And that's been it for the show. Come back and see us. I don't know.